Going to be a really quick video, folks. I just received a comment on the wild dogs at gate trespassing video. It's from this person named Tree, who claims to be one of my neighbors. One of your neighbors here. You're a little crazy. None of the neighbors wanna steal your chickens unless we need a sacrifice. You hear that, folks? Tree. Now, when I go to the channel, this is who the user is. So we can get to report this to YouTube. I believe the comment violates their terms and conditions. But thank you so much, because this is evidence that I will give to the sheriff's department, even though they'll do nothing about it. But you're saying, here, you're one of my neighbors? I'm here 4 years. I don't know who you are. Show your face, coward. One of your neighbors here. You're a little crazy. Oh, maybe you're my neighbor down the block. You know, the blessed one who wants to duke it out with me on the county road. I'm a little crazy? Why don't you watch my Neighborhood Wars video? You want to know who's crazy? My neighbors are. And a lot of other people on this block. Yeah. You all guys, you need to get a little educated. You also need to educate yourself about the law. Okay? You need to educate yourself about the law in your own state. Okay? And the law is, for instance, when you obtain insurance on your home, very often one of the questions is, do you have a dog? In fact, when I schedule a pickup for the post office to pick up a package at my house, one of the questions is, do you have a dog? They want to know if you have a dog that could potentially attack or harass them. Because dogs are known to do that. They are protective, right? Now, it's okay for a dog to be protective on their own property. But when they trespass somebody else's, it's against the law. So please educate yourself about the law. And you want to sacrifice? None of your neighbors want to steal your chickens unless we need a sacrifice? You know what that's called? It's called animal abuse. It's called animal torture and theft. If you were stealing one of my animals, you would first have to trespass. You first have to trespass my property. Then you have to steal a bird. And then you'd have to kill it, which is murder. It's called animal abuse and animal torture. And you know what? I am going to report your comment. Thank you, neighbor. I don't know who you are, but you're obviously a coward. I'm here 4 years. Show your face. Tell me who you are. What's your name? So I can report you. What's your name? You want to do a sacrifice? I'll mention it to a couple of my other neighbors that have chickens. Maybe that's where their chickens are going. Maybe you're sacrificing their chickens too. Here you go, folks. User. Here's the user. EL3XS6NT5C, also known as Tree. Okay, also known as Tree. And let's see, we'll just click on this person's profile. Obviously, the channel has no content, no videos, no content, no videos, no contact. And when you click on the about, guess what? They just joined today, October 3, 2023. For all I know, this could be the neighbor. Yeah, Tree? What about the tree, huh? Oh, you know what, guys? You all give yourselves away. I'm telling you, folks, people around here really need to get some education. They give themselves away. They just joined. They just created a channel to leave that negative comment. Tree. Okay, Tree. You're going to be reported to YouTube. I don't think YouTube likes for you to discuss animal sacrificing. So, yeah, you're going to be reported. That's okay. Tree, neighbor, whomever you are, you could be the neighbor down the block. Some of the neighbors are okay, but most of them are not. So here, yeah, folks, I want you to hear, this is what the neighbors do around here. They create new YouTube channels just so they could leave a message. You know who I think it is? I think it's the Blessed One. She did the same thing on the Facebook page. When I banned her from leaving derogatory comments that were untrue, patently untrue, she then signed on to the Facebook page with her underage son's account. Yeah. This is how desperate these stalkers are. Desperate. No, I actually don't think it's my next door neighbor who did this. I actually think it's her. Yeah. Neighbor here. No neighbors want to steal your chickens unless we need a sacrifice. Thanks for letting me know, neighbor. And you know what? I'm sure that some law enforcement person can track down your IP address. I might even be able to do it. Actually, one of my friends might be able to do it. And I will find out who you are. Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out who you are. Thanks, stupid person. I loved collecting evidence. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, exposing one criminal at a time. Here in rural Kentucky. Oh, and by the way, for that person that is comparing my guinea hens to dogs, every state in the United States has a law against wild dogs. When you file for insurance, they want to know if you have a dog, and they also want to know what breed you have, because they claim that some breeds are more violent than others. I mean, it seems to change every couple of years, but that's another story entirely. Dogs are required to have a rabies shot, right? They're required to have a rabies. They're supposed to have a license. They're supposed to wear tags. This is not my law. It's not my rule. Every state has a dog licensing rabies rule. And it is a law. It's not a rule. It's a law. And when you violate the law, you can get a citation. You can have your animal removed. Now, the one thing I know about guinea fowl is they're wild birds. The one thing I also know about them is they do not attack dogs. They don't attack cats, because I've got cats. They don't attack other animals. They basically graze and eat bugs, especially ticks. They do fly because they're birds. They're wild birds. Okay? If anybody has a problem with my birds, that's why we live in rural Kentucky. There are no restrictions here for farm animals. If I want to have goats on my property, I can have a goat. I can have cows. And you know what? When I moved here, somebody's pig got loose and was wandering around down the county road, actually almost entered my property. I've had more wild dogs on my property than probably any one of you guys. Yeah. That's right. So you're all violating the Kentucky state law. And when an animal trespasses, a wild animal that is eating your chickens, you have a right to kill that animal. So the person who said, oh, well, the next time your guineas come over here, I don't even know who you are. When were my guineas at your house? Please tell me. I'd like to know. How long did they stay? Did they eat your dog? Did they attack your animals? Huh? Did they attack you? What did they do? Please tell me. I would like to know. I'm living here 4 years. I haven't met you. You haven't introduced yourself. Some neighbor you are. But you want to complain on my YouTube channel, stalker. Right? You want to stalk my YouTube channel to leave a comment like that? Educate yourself about the Kentucky laws on dogs. Yes. Dogs on the loose, on the run, they call it. That dog can be impounded. They are required to wear tags. That's right, they're required to wear rabies tags. Do you want those wild dogs on your property eating your hens? Maybe those neighbors need to feed their dogs. They're barking all the time. Maybe they're starving. Maybe they shouldn't have a dog. Maybe they shouldn't own dogs. If they have the ability to drive under the influence and fall in a ditch, how do you think they're taking care of those dogs? They're not taking care of those dogs. They shouldn't own a dog. And the fact that they're starving those dogs and forcing them to come on my property and steal chickens is despicable. And it's against the law. And yeah, that's right. I have a right to shoot those dogs on my property. Now in New Jersey, sometimes dogs would get loose. Everybody knew whose dogs were who. Sometimes I would have dogs in my backyard, but they were all wonderful dogs. I would pet them, they were sweet, they didn't bother my cats, and I would just call my neighbor up or walk the dog home and say, your dog got loose, your dog's in my yard, I'll take it home, or you want to come and get it. That's the way we work out in New Jersey. That's the way most educated, mature people deal with these situations. But not here. Everybody's entitled here. And yes, it is an unrestricted area, but not for dogs. Dogs need to follow the laws. That's right. And the laws are that dog's got to have a rabies shot with a tag of ownership. Just like the other person whose beagle dog or hound dog ended up on my property 2 years ago. Yeah, that dog had no tags on neither. No tags of ownership. Dog was loose 4 or 5 days. The owner comes looking for it, thinks that I stole it. Yeah, that's the way the people operate here. But no, in most civilized societies, if a dog gets loose on your property and the dog is harmless, that's the key. The dog is harmless. The dog is wagging his tail. I've had a dog walk on the property a couple of years ago when I first moved here. The dog was absolutely harmless, wagging his tail, followed me around. I just didn't want the dog. But the dog wasn't here to attack any of the other animals. I can't say the same for my neighbors down the block, who seem to be entitled and starve her dogs and set them loose down the county road. Those dogs are at large. And I will make sure the next time it happens, either those dogs are not going to leave my property or they're going to be impounded. And I will call until those dogs are picked up. Mark my words. And the fact that I know more about the animal laws here than you do really says something about you guys, right? Go look up the laws. You may be violating them every day. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, educating the local people about the Kentucky state laws when it comes to tagging your wild dogs at large. That's right. Dogs running on the county road at large without tags can be impounded. That's the law.